So we're here after the Worksop Town game, where Heanor have just had a scoreless draw. With me, I've got manager Glenn Clarence, assistant manager James Baker, coach Steve Huntington, and midfielder Sean Gregory. Glenn, a few big shouts in the game today. Early on, one of the Worksop players has took a tumble in the box. The referee's given it as simulation but not booked the player. A lot of people are asking the question, with that not being a booking, does that open up a bit of a hole in non-league football where players are taking a tumble and not getting punished for it?
Good question, Tony. What's this smash it down? I don't know if he tumbled, do you? People's opinions matter, but the referee's opinion matters. He thinks it didn't tumble, so that's why I haven't booked him. So I'd go with the referee's shout. Okay,
so if a player's appealing for something, surely that means that they're cheating in the game?
Not necessarily. I mean, players in our league, I don't think Worksop would be one of them, but it turned out to be. But players in our league get taught to appeal for everything. I mean, the further north you go, every single nudge, every single shoulder to shoulder is met with 100 cries for a free kick. We got that again today. If I'm honest, it's something that we've tried to work on to try and get into our game, because we don't do it and maybe we're too honest, but sometimes by appealing you get decisions.
That's a fair shout. Steve, today the lads have done what you appreciate. We've got a 0. How do you think they did out there?
I'm just pleased you've asked a question about the game, Tony. I thought it was question time on football with Tony Squires. I thought the lads did brilliant, to be fair today. You know, I think we've matched them all over the park. We know they're going to pass it, and we've got to be organised. Glenn went there, watched the game on Wednesday night, saw them. They came set up as we thought they would. I don't think there was anything in the game really. We had a couple of half chances, they've had a couple of half chances, and a draw's probably a fair result.
Okay, James, as a former goalkeeper, I'll put that out there. Sorry, mate. 2 games, only 1 goal conceded this season. Well done. Deeks has played today. 1 save to make, if I remember rightly, early in the second half, where he's dived low to his right to palm a shot away. Now, that's all I remember him doing. Do you think that the defence have worked hard in front of him, or has Deeks just done his job?
Sometimes, you know, when you come up against opposition, goalkeepers and back 4 get a lot of credit, but also you have to credit the front 3 as well, because it's the old classic, isn't it? You defend as a team, and the way that Worksop play, you know, they like to pass the ball, and if we don't match that work rate up front, then it will cost teams eventually. That's why we've kept the clean sheet. Yes, Deeks has made a good save, which is more than capable of doing, but yeah, it's a collective thing, and I think that's what people are starting to realise now. What we're doing here, we're a collective unit now. And yeah, last week we showed that we can score goals. This week we showed that we can grind things out as well, without necessarily being the prettiest game in the world.
Okay, thanks for that, James. Yeah, Steve, I know we've just had a brief chat outside, talking about the performance over the last month. Now, you've shared that maybe that could show a little bit of disrespect to what we were aiming for early in the season. Do you want to just share that with the people listening?
What I meant was, when I said that to you, Tony, is people will say, "Oh, look how far we've come in the last month," and that is a fair point. But what I was trying to say was, you know, we shouldn't be getting overly enthused about coming to Worksop Town and drawing 0-0 or beating Cleethorpes at home. That was what we set out to do. That's what, you know, the football club wanted us to do when we got the job. It's what, as a management team, we've tried to do in terms of bringing players in and playing the way that we've wanted to play. Maybe it's clicked in a way. I think that word's been used previously. That has meant our performances have suddenly looked better. But as far as we're concerned, you know, we're disappointed that we haven't won here today, and that's what I want to say. And we've got 2 games against Chorley, and we've got Handsworth to come, Barton away, and then I think we've got probably 5 out of the bottom 8. We're expecting, and have been expecting, to take, you know, a lot of points in those games, and I think Glenn's alluded to that by saying maybe we're in a false position. So that's what I meant by that.
Brilliant. Glenn, would you agree with that Heanor Town Football Club are in a false position? Where can you see us going, maybe finishing towards the end of the season?
Thought you were going to ask me if the dress is blue and black or gold and white, Tony. I think, touching on today, yeah, I see what Steve's saying. I mean, we're not going to get carried away because we drew 0-0 away at Worksop. We set a squad to win the league at the start of the season. It's a very, very tough league. The top 10 in it are very, very good. People from the outside can see, yeah, we've lost players, but that was a conscious decision. Our group is a lot tighter now. I don't know. I'm not going to predict where we're going to finish. I'm just going to say that we're going to finish above where we are at the minute, because for me, we've got 3 games in hand. If we win those games, we're going to that group above. It is what it is. Again, like I said last week, keep playing like we played last week. No disrespect to Cleethorpes. Cleethorpes were second in the league last week. We were very good last week, but I don't want to disrespect Cleethorpes. They were poor. They didn't turn up. We didn't get carried away with last week's 6-0 win. Coming today, we knew it was going to be a totally different game. We had to be disciplined. We had to work hard off the ball. We had to be organised. And if I'm honest, a month, maybe 2 months ago, we wouldn't have come here and got a 0-0 draw. I want to win games. I want us to go and beat them 1-0 or 2-0 or even 5-4. But the other side of the coin, we were really, really good, disciplined, worked our socks off. And again, for those that follow this league, we know that Worksop pass and pass and pass and pass and pass, and they're really, really good at that. You have to have more strings to your bow. We said it before, Deeks has had 1 save to make with all their possession. Possession doesn't win your games. I know we haven't won today, but I want us to play football, but you have to have a plan B, a plan C, and a few more strings to your bow. I'm sure, I'm not telling Shoei how to do his job, but your Tedcasters, your Shorelanes, I'm sure they don't just pass and pass. Worksop do that, great to watch, but again, it doesn't get you 3 points all the time. If you come here, you're disciplined. We were maybe unlucky not to get all 3 points today. People in the Worksop crowd will probably disagree because they've seen him have all the possession, but again, I'll reiterate, Deeks has had 1 save to make.
Yeah. Okay, James.
Just want to touch on what Glenn was saying. You asked where we thought we'd be or where we want to be. People might turn around and say, well, we're out the title race and this, that and the other, and you know, they might have a point. But we're also in a position where we can have a very big say in where this title goes. And that's what this group of players, as things stand, we're taking things 1 game at a time. Yeah. And anybody who comes up against us will know that they're in a game. These lads won't roll over.
Brilliant. And finally, I've just seen General Manager Scott Ward walk into the room. Scott, as one of the off-field management of the football club, Heanor Town, I don't know where it's going to leave us in the table after today's game. I know we were 8th at the start of play. I don't know why so many clubs How difficult is it having 1 promotion place when a lot of leagues just above us have playoffs? Would that be something that Northern Counties East League would benefit from, having playoffs?
Absolutely would do, Tony, but we are in the highest league without playoffs. If you look below, obviously step 6. The East Midlands counties only have 1 promotion place, but the Northern Counties Division 1 has 2. We only have 1 from us to go up to Evo Stick South. And it is disappointing because, like these lads have been saying, there was a chance. After them 4 defeats around Christmas for us, we would have been in way shot if we'd avoided defeating them games. But I think it's just a bit of a big gap to claw back at this moment in time. So, yeah, it would be a shame, but we would have been still fighting if there had been a chance to get a playoff.
And on that bombshell, thank you very much, Jack, for your time, guys.